Okay, bye. Well, right. Getting all settled in here. Yeah, the topic for today, it's quite the controversial one. I'm not sure my fellow freelancers will agree with this, but I don't really care. I just wanted to get this out. Over the last few days, or the last few weeks actually, I've been having a lot of conversations with people where this entire theme of long-term goals or long-term purpose has sort of come up between the conversation. And whenever it came up, my response almost always baffled people. It's like, oh my God, I haven't heard of that one before. I've never heard of that one before. And almost all of them are like starstruck, and almost all of them were left wondering, okay, maybe there's something to this point that this guy is making. So the very fact that I got all those responses is why I'm even making this video, wherein I genuinely believe the fact that long-term goals actually detriment your ability to show up in the world and detriment your ability to be the best version of yourself. And I labeled this specifically a Gen Z freelancer's perspective, because in the freelance world, it's so popular to think that, hey, you need to have a long-term goal, or you need to have a long-term purpose to make it as a freelancer, because the popular notion is that freelancing is a very chaotic field, and if you don't have a structure to the entire process, then you will basically be just another ship being blown about by the wind. But how I see it is, even if you're just another ship being blown about by the wind, if you have such a rigid structure like goals, what you do is you start moving against the current a lot more than you want to, actually. As much as it is bad to go against, as much as it's bad getting directed by the current, it's also equally bad just moving against the current completely, right? And my entire notion is, well, you need to use both the current's power, or universe's power, or whatever is coming naturally to you. You need to use that power and the power inside yourself to make free will decisions. Now, where I'm coming with that is, there is this popular notion when you have a long-term goal that every single thing that you do on a daily basis, you feel the need to measure that with the long-term goal. You feel the need to ask yourself the question of, hey, how is this relating to my long-term goal? Where I'm coming from is, it doesn't really matter. Long-term goals are set purely from your view of the world, or the world as it exists in your mind. But the problem with reality is, it doesn't care about what you have in your mind. It just cares about reality. It just cares about happening. If your worldview is based on the world that you think is unfolding before your eyes, what you'll often miss is reality itself. And my entire approach is, hey, instead of placing something as rigid as long-term goals, why not just go a step further and set something a little more flexible, like a long-term direction? The reason I'm saying this is, instead of actually explaining it, I'll give you guys a story. Right now, I'm a freelancer, and what I do as a freelancer is I ghostwrite for people, I consult people for LinkedIn monetization, and there's some degree of sales coaching, mindset coaching also involved to help people monetize. Whatever people need to monetize, I give them that. You won't believe me, how I started was almost like 2 years ago, at the start of 2024. This is 2025. Yeah, it's the start of 2024. I started as a ghostwriter, and what I was charging people, I kid you not, it's 5,000 per account. 5,000 per account for absolutely everything, for posting, for writing, for commenting, literally everything. So basically, just to give some of you non-LinkedIners context, that is basically like spending your entire day focusing on just one thing and getting paid 5,000 a month for it. That's the perspective. And the reason why I'm setting this perspective is, if I at the time asked the question, oh my God, am I going to be doing this for the rest of my life? Am I only going to be serving people for 5,000? That's the wrong question, because that was never going to happen. That 5,000 rupees per account, so to say, was just the start. The fact that I was literally getting treated as a slave laborer, or I was getting less than minimum wage, was not my destiny. If I actually told myself that it was my destiny, then I would have just completely skipped over it and given it the reason that, hey, that opportunity is actually lower than me. I'm bigger than that opportunity. I deserve bigger opportunities. And if I was so stuck in my mind in that kind of sense, I would have easily missed the very first step of my entire career. I'm saying that because, again, for context, I think last month I just closed a client for $2,000. It's not couple $1,000, couple $100. It's just $1,000. But the reason I'm giving you context is the setting between me and this particular client is purely consulting and purely just action based and purely value based instead of just specific deliverables or specific actions. When in reality, how I started was just 5,000 rupees. Could I have gotten this lady or could I have gotten this creator or this client if I did not start with 5,000 rupees? I don't know. Frankly, I don't think so. And that's the point I'm making. So while me starting off as a baby step looked like 5,000 rupees per account for me, it may look like 5,000 as an intern for you, or working somewhere as an intern, or serving someone as an intern. It may look like that for you. My entire point here is don't overlook opportunities or don't overlook people just because it doesn't make sense in the long term. Because quite frankly, you don't know what makes sense in the long term. All I can think of when you say long term is, hey, your version of long term, which is usually not accurate, right? If it makes sense in the short term, just try not to swear here, just do it. Right? Just do it. If it makes sense in the short term, just do it. And if it is supposed to be in the long term, it will be. But don't be so hell-bent on just doing things a certain way or being a certain way that you completely miss the magic that your present moment has to offer you. Right? Because if I made that mistake, I know for a fact that I won't be sitting here talking to you about this very thing. If I made that mistake, I wouldn't be sitting here with someone as a person with a completely remote lifestyle. If I made that mistake, I wouldn't be sitting here as a person who literally gamed for 2 hours before I'm recording this. Unapologetically, I gamed for 2 hours without thinking of, oh, where will money come from? Or, will these people get upset that I'm using my time in this way? I'm in complete control of my time. And the reason how I got here was not by using long-term goals or was not by subscribing to a particular ideal. The reason or the way that I got here was by honoring this concept called long-term direction. And the way that I got here was just honoring the moment for what it is. Present moment over everything else. Right? That's my philosophy. How I arm that philosophy, how I kind of package that philosophy is, hey, present moment over everything else, but it's good to have a long-term direction. That's my balance, and that balance has helped me build this life that I currently live, and honestly it can do wonders for you as well. If you just settle into the moment, let go of that thing that you're holding on to so tight, let go of some control a little bit and just live. That's about it from me. I just wanted to share this topic because I was having a lot of conversations about this with a lot of people, and it was just yearning to come out. And while I do post things like this on LinkedIn, it just felt like I loved speaking too much to just stick to writing as a medium. So I just wanted to record this video. If you guys like this, drop a like, send it to a friend who needs it, and comment below if you have any questions or if you have any thoughts to add on to this. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Peace.